on YouTube? Kyle from Trail Kings Off-road. Today we're going to take the truck out, do a little local trail, and just get out of the house for a little bit. Figured take you guys along and see what we can get. So let's hit it. Just got to the start of the trail, I guess. Gonna go ahead and air down. I think we'll do a walk around today, show you the setup of the truck and what we got going on. So I'm gonna air down real quick. All right, we made it to the top of the lookout of the trail. If you know where this is, you know. If not, well, go out and explore some of your local trails and maybe you'll find it. Maybe you'll find another one that's even better, who knows? But look at this view. Alright, so starting out, I'll go ahead and just give you a rundown of the actual truck, the specifics. This is a 3rd gen 2017 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-road 4-wheel drive. When I bought the truck, it only had about 55,000 miles on it and pretty much stock, other than just a couple little things on it. But we'll go ahead and just start from the front. So up front, I'm rocking the CBI T3 Baja bumper in steel. A lot of people wonder, do you go steel, aluminum? Aluminum is great for saving the weight, but me personally, I love having a really strong heavy duty bumper, even if it costs me the weight. So that's what we're running. For fog lights, we're just running the standard OEM fogs with a LED bulb in it, nothing crazy. For these lights, these are the knockoff version of the Baja LP9s, but honestly, not knocking Baja, but these are really great lights. I haven't had any issues with moisture getting in the lenses or anything like that. They do come with a nice running light that goes around the edges right here, and I've tested these out in the snow, in the rain, and they've worked really well, so no complaints as of yet. As for the grill, just your, I guess you could say your normal TRD Pro grill, aftermarket, not OEM. Headlights, just the stock TRD off-road lights. Honestly, I'm getting really tired of these ones. They're starting to get some moisture in them, so that'll probably be one of the next upgrades that we start looking into. As for suspension, we are rocking the Icon 2.5-inch reservoir shocks without the CDC valve, and also we're running the Delta joint tubular upper control arm. I love these. I've got a lot of weight in the front, and I'm running a 315 tire, so almost a 35-inch, and they ride super smooth. I haven't had any issues with them. A lot of people will say that Icon's customer support is awful. Personally, I've never had an issue with them. Anytime that I've had a question or concern, or even just I guess question about different preloads and whatnot that would work best for my truck, I've always gotten a pretty straight answer and never had anything bad to say about them. Mind you, they are extremely dirty right now. Just went through some mud about an hour ago. But anyway, that's the front suspension. As for the rear, we're also running the Icon 2.5-inch with the reservoir. And then for our leaf pack, we're running the Icon RXT leaf pack in the third heavy duty option. I'm carrying about roughly around 550 to 600 pounds of weight in the rear when everything is loaded up with the tent, the water port, everything in the deck system. We'll go and get into that in a little bit. But I don't really ever notice any sagging with these. Don't really get too many creaks. And I don't really have anything bad to say about them. They're really good leaf springs, really good shocks. Hopefully I'll be able to upgrade them in the future to get the CDC valve to get a little bit more adjustability. But until then, they work great, they handle well. And yeah, so moving on, going back up to the front, I did have to trim my fenders. I also did a, we'll see if you can see, a Rago Fabrication cab mount relocation kit. We've smashed the pinch weld, and as far as making it clear for the tire, I am running a 1-inch tire spacer. You might be able to see back there. I haven't had any issues with them so far, and I wheel quite a bit, so until I have issues with that, or if I feel that it's not cutting it, I'll post an update. But until then, they've been really well. Like I said, these are a 315/70 R17 Cooper Discover AT XL3, or XLT, my bad. And these are pretty good tires, I'm not gonna lie. They're not a super aggressive tire. They are an all-terrain, so you do get some good off-road capability, but compared to like a KO2, Falcon Wild Peak, Cooper Discover, SCT Pro, obviously they're not going to be, or this isn't going to be as aggressive. I will say though, I was running the Falcon Wild Peak AT3 and a 33 before these, and when I went to the 35 with this configuration, my road noise was insanely more quiet. Well, on the subject of tires, we'll go ahead and talk about the wheels that I'm running. These are the Icon Vector 6 wheels in a satin black, even though they look very muddy right now, with a 0 offset. While adding the wheel spacer, I want to say I'm somewhere at a -25 to -30 offset right now, and that's only because I was having a very slight issue with rubbing my upper control arm once these tires went on. Once I added the wheel spacer, problem was eliminated. I wasn't getting any other rubbing. So yeah, that's my wheel setup. As for, let's see, snorkel, I went with the up top Overland uptake snorkel. Personally, I think it just looks the best out of the other brands out there. But yeah, I've always gone with up top Overland. I have them for my roof rack. Love them, and I love just how seamless the snorkel and the rack work together. It's very sleek. It does have a nice pop with the color matched metal grates. As for ditch lights, I am running Rough Country's Pod. These are a floodlight configuration. I'm not exactly sure of the actual model, but these ones I really like because one, they're super bright, and two, they have a daytime running light feature to where you can have this small little LED bar in there lit up. It gives a nice little aesthetic look to it. All right, moving back down to sliders. These are a custom slider by Schmel Fab out of Long Beach. These came with the truck, so I'm not 100% sure of the dimensions of them, what he used. But Schmel Fab, if you're out there and you want to make a comment on it, go for it. I personally love these because a lot of people, they'll like to have a more tucked away slider. They don't really like the step, quote unquote, look. I actually like the step look. It does help as a step, and it also just gives me the assurance that if I hit a huge boulder, I'm covered. I've never had an issue with getting hung up on a rock. It's always just done its job, slid right off, and I have no complaints. Moving on to the top, this is the up top Overland Bravo rack with the Extreme LED X6S light bar and the fairing for that light bar. I really like that up top Overland creates the different fairings for some of the Baja lights, rigid lights, Extreme LED, and I think it just flows really well. It's not a huge in-your-face kind of light bar, but when you need it, it comes on, no problem. One of the biggest things that I love about this rack and light bar combo is at night, I get absolutely no reflection of light off of my hood. My hood is completely black or completely dark, and you don't see any light reflecting. I know with a lot of the other light bars, you do get at least some reflection, and I can be confident to say I've never had any reflection off of the hood. All right, on top of the up top Overland, I have two 100-watt solar panels by Acco Power. These are just a Amazon brand. Nothing crazy as far as name brand wise. These I have wired up to behind my rear view window, goes down and through here behind the cab. While we're in here, I guess we'll just go ahead and show what my setup is in here. I have the solar cable coming out through here and just plugs straight into my Blue Eddy EB240 power station. This is a 2400 watt hour solar battery generator. I love this thing. I can go about a month or so without having to actually plug this in to a wall outlet if I'm using the solar with it. And that'll run my fridge 24/7. It'll charge phones, laptops, camera batteries, lights, basically anything I need. Some people will go with a dual battery setup. I personally like this option because I can take this out and move it around if I need to. So yeah, this is the battery, and it's pretty much just plug in your solar and you're good to go. I have my fridge plugged into here, and this is the IceCo VL45 Pro. It's a single zone, but you are able to use it as a freezer or fridge. I'll probably do a walk around or a more in-depth review of that later on, but I love this fridge. It's super quiet, really energy efficient, and yeah, I've been able to fit up to about a week's worth of groceries when I go camping or cross country, and I've never had an issue with storage for food. Along with the solar, I usually keep some extra charging cables, some extra handheld radio chargers, wall plug extenders, just basic cords that you might need. And then always keep a fire extinguisher here, just in case. You never know when you might need it. Other than that, that's pretty much the back seat. If I wanted to, I could take this out and keep the battery back here to flip the seat all the way up and still have my two seats. But as of right now, I like just having the extra hard top storage. We'll see if that changes down the road. But yeah, as for lighting, I also do have the Miso Customs dome light and the front map lights. These are the interchangeable between the red and white light. I really like these. I didn't think I would like them as much as I do, but they really give off a nice light. So yeah, that basically is the top for the solar. As for my bed rack, I am running the RCI full height rack. I like having the extra height in the bed. This is the Waterport Weekender. It's a 8-gallon pressurized water tank. I really love this. I did a trip to Yosemite about a month or so ago, and this lasted me and my family and then a couple of our friends basically almost the whole week for washing off your hands, cleaning off some dishes, just little things around the campsite that you would need some water. Moving on, we have for my rear bumper, this is the Warfab Phantom bumper. This is their standard high clearance, not their super high clearance, but it is high clearance. I gain about 6 inches of rear clearance from stock, and this was also, or this came with the tree saver, or I added that on, I should say. And I did a trip out to Colorado. That video is up on YouTube if you guys want to check that out. Basically showing my trip from California to Colorado, getting the bumper on and putting it to the test in Moab. I really love this bumper. It has taken a beating, as you can tell. My license plate is not the same anymore, but the bumper itself has held up great. It really has a nice look to it, and yeah, you don't really see too many of these specific bumpers out here, at least in California from what I've seen. Moving on, we'll go into the bed of the truck. I do have the mountain hatch cutting board tailgate insert. It's super nice to not have to bring a cutting board to camp anymore. I can just wipe this off, sterilize it real quick, and be good to go to prepare food on it. It does, believe it or not, it does make a very big difference as far as sitting on your tailgate compared to the stock riveted tailgate insert. As for organization in the back of the truck, I am running the decked system, and I believe this was actually one of the very first mods I ever did on my truck. And I am a firm believer in decked. I used to have this on my old long bed Tacoma, and on that truck I ran it for about 8 or 9 months. I was using it for work, and then changed jobs, and I didn't need it for work anymore. So I actually ended up selling it in order to buy my rooftop tent. And then about a month into it, I realized how much I missed having this. And I was actually able to get a really good deal and bought this one for the short bed, and I love it. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. It does have pros and cons to it. You do lose a lot of the depth in your bed, but you do also gain the width of your bed as far as like with your wheel wells. So you do get a wider bed essentially. I guess it just comes down to what you want to use your truck for. Inside the drawers, basically just keep some air hoses, sledgehammer, a couple down blankets, a lantern, all my tools that I might need, just a basic toolkit. That's pretty much it that I keep in here for like my daily. If we do a long trip or we do a more intensive off-road trip, I'll usually change some of this stuff out. But this is usually what I keep on hand. And then in the bigger drawer, I usually keep a emergency kit with some flares, jumper cables, small first aid kit, and then these are the front runner chairs. I'll probably do a review on these as well. Just extra spare pair of gloves from the snow the other weekend, and then this is the water port hose. I can fit a lot in here. It does go back pretty deep. But yeah, so that's the decked. It's pretty straightforward, easy to use, super durable. You do also get these, they're called ammo cans, and they're just more storage that goes down the full length down to here. They're not waterproof, but they do a pretty good job at keeping a lot of the water out. They're just not advertised as waterproof. These two drawers, however, they are. I've never had an issue with. Guys, that concludes the end of this video. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you guys enjoyed the walk around. If you guys have any comments or you guys have any questions about the build over here of good old Whitney, be sure to leave them down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe. It definitely helps us out, and we'll see you in the next video.